Hey, my beloved, welcome to another episode of the Rebel Satsang. Your host, Ingrid H. Turner, hailing from Yuma, Arizona today. Look at this lusciousness. Topic for today, spirituality and mental health. The intersection is huge. And I think it's because spirituality really attracts people who are, on some level, really committed to their healing and their process and understanding themselves and understanding what it is that they're sensing that is greater than them and providing some meaning for their life and their experiences. It can attract people who have mental health issues, and it can attract people who are looking to get rid of their mental health issues or avoid their mental health issues. So you've got people showing up who want to heal, who want to do the deeper work, who want to really get through their stuff. And you have people showing up who want to bypass their mental health issues. And then you have people who want to, I don't know, for lack of a better word, like spiritualize their mental health issues, swim around in the muck. I have a lot of people coming to me who have a lot of experience in the mental health world. They've been to therapy for a long time. A lot of them are in recovery. They've gone down the deep and dark rabbit holes of their psyche and they have been left wanting, but also knowing there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And usually that's about the time that they find me. And when we start working together, we start doing somatic renewal work and we start getting the body on board. We start getting the nervous system on board. And we also bring in God, divine spirit into the mix and putting together body work, somatic work, and spiritual work and channeling and the mental health aspect of it has been a really profound and spiritual and deeply transformative experience for me, as well as for the people who I am blessed to work with. My own journey through mental health stuff starts when I was a real young kid. My dad died very suddenly when I was 12. And, back then, nobody knew how to teach kids how to cope with that. And so I developed what I believe were PTSD symptoms from losing my dad really suddenly. It's not like he was sick. He's healthy, primary caregiver in the household. He stayed at home with the kids and my mom worked. So that's the dynamic that we had in our household. He dropped dead one day and my whole life pivoted. And it was a really difficult time. But looking back, I realized the next 15, 20 years, the next 20 years were insane. I was insane. I was reactive. I was defensive. I was angry. And then I had a child young. Oh my goodness, right? I kept fucking myself over. I kept self-sabotaging. I kept ruining relationships, ruining jobs, ruining my reputation because I was so sensitive. I was spiritually sensitive. I was emotionally sensitive. I couldn't handle any kind of criticism or anything like that. I was ruining my life. And by the time I hit 30, I was done. I had succumbed to alcoholism. I was drinking a bottle of wine and more every single night by myself. I was in a very toxic relationship and I was a single mom. I was just fucking up left and right. And I hit my bottom. And that's when I had to get help. Now, I didn't go to therapy. The first place I went was AA. And here's what was so profound about going to AA instead of going into talk therapy. I have seen therapists off and on. I personally have not found them as helpful as my spiritual work, as the spiritual work that I do. But I wouldn't say that's the case for everybody. I think that the spiritual work with me that people do works beautifully in conjunction with talk therapy or whatever kind of therapy that one feels resonant with and is helpful. I have several of my students who do both. When I fucked up my life so much and I was so unhappy and I'd ruined so many relationships with my crazy defensiveness. The reason I feel like it was PTSD related was I had such a short fuse and I took everything so personally and I was such a victim and I felt so bullied all the time. And I would come out swinging every time, every step of the way. I would just come out swinging and I'd fucked things up. And so I went to AA, and I went to AA to recover from alcoholism, to get sober. But what was really profound about me going into AA instead of anything else is AA, the traditions, the steps of AA are based on Zen Buddhism. In my early childhood, I had a very spiritual upbringing. My dad was really spiritual. He meditated every day. He had us meditate every day. We were homeschooled. We did yoga. We were in nature. It was a really alternative and spiritual upbringing. I drifted really, really far from that. And AA was something that brought me back in touch with that. It helped me rebuild this spiritual foundation that I lost for myself. And the tenets of AA were so resonant with me because they echoed my spiritual upbringing. And I spent about a year in AA. After a year, I started to feel sort of these rumblings like something's missing. I need more. I was looking for more. And that's when I dove headfirst into my spirituality. And I had a radical and intense spiritual awakening, which the details of that are for another video. But let's just say that I turned squarely and directly in the direction of spirituality. So my spiritual work really did intersect with my mental health journey, even though I wasn't seeing it at the time as my mental health journey. It was. And my spirituality is what ultimately pulled me through my mental health issues. These things still come up because the work is never done. You're not enlightened until you're dead, is what I say. There's no such thing. So after I had this awakening, I moved completely and totally in the direction of my spirituality, and I began to build my spiritual life. Everything had to line up with my spirituality and my spiritual values. And I'm on year 8 or 9 of that being my full-time journey. Kind of going back to what I was talking about, sort of put these buckets of where mental health and spirituality can come together. The most profound is when people find spirituality because they are committed to transcending their mental health issues, and they can be transcended. You are not stuck with mental health issues. You're just not. You can transcend it. And the way that I transcend mine and the way I see it transcended over and over again is through consistent, committed practice of what I teach is somatic renewal. Now, somatic renewal is not the only thing that will get you there, but it is what I have found time and again gets people there when they make a commitment to it. Now, the pitfalls that I want to talk about is like spiritual bypassing is a big one. People can get really into spirituality as a way to avoid their mental health issues. You get really into the magical thinking. And don't get me wrong, I love magical thinking. But magical thinking is often used as a way to bypass very profound mental health challenges and situations that we need to move through in order to expand into our highest expression, to be our best possible selves. Spirituality is meant for that, not meant to avoid traumas that we deal with and the issues that are a result of those traumas. And the other way that it can show up is if we spiritualize our mental health. I have seen people take their mental health journeys and make it almost like my issues are my spiritual practice, like really wallowing, reveling, rolling around in the muck of their mental health issues and getting stuck in the story, getting stuck in, I have these epiphanies about myself. I'm, traumatized. This is my trauma response, and really creating an identity out of their mental health issues and also, an identity out of their spiritual revelations around their mental health issues. So if you have had mental health issues in the past, or you're struggling with mental health issues, anxiety, depression, PTSD, any of those things, there is a way through for you, and God will guide you. And you also have to get to business and do the work and listen to professionals. I'm never going to say, oh, don't listen to a therapist. Absolutely not. They know what they're talking about. They have years of training. I have recommended therapy to my clients, to my students. And like I said, several of them work with therapists in conjunction in their work with me, and it works out great. And many people have come from a lot of therapy and have moved into the deeper spiritual work with me to great effect. So listen to the guides that God is putting in front of you, that the universe is opening up for you, and be aware of the story. That's sort of my gotcha for anyone and everyone in the work that I'm doing is we have to be really aware of the story. The story is the intellectualization of what happened, the intellectualization of your trauma, the epiphanies, the, oh my God, I understand now. That's a mental understanding, right? Or I can't figure it out. I have to know why I am the way I am. Why am I the way I am? It doesn't fucking matter. What matters is going into the body, letting God in, feeling your fucking feelings, and allowing yourself to move fully through that experience so that you can live your life free. And that's what somatic renewal is all about. And honey bunches of oats, if you vibe with me, check out the link in the description of my video, the Somatic Mastermind. I have seen this work create profound change and impact, and I believe in it with my everything. I'm a big believer that spirituality and mental health awareness coexists, that we can use our spirituality, our connection to divine source energy, in conjunction with practical, applicable techniques, processes, and skills to heal ourselves on the deepest level, to let go of even the deepest traumas and wounds and the most extreme past circumstances, so that we can expand fully into our authenticity and show up loving ourselves and living our lives free and more authentic and more wild than you could have ever imagined. I am a living testament to that, as are some of the amazing people that I've been able to work with. So hit me up. Let me know if you want to take it further. Okay. I love you so much.